Alright, welcome to the Sceptical Scotsman. Today I'm going to be discussing something that is personal and it's discriminated against and looked down upon as being less. And I wanted to shed some light on it, seeing as how it does affect me quite a bit. Now, I waited for years to do this. But now that my grandparents are all since dead and gone, and my dad is gone now, and my mom is in a nursing home and she doesn't get on the internet, she just watches movies and TV all day, I wanted to talk about polyamory, or being polyamorous. What polyamory is: having a relationship or a romantic relationship with more than one person. The reason why I said this affects me is because I am a straight white male who happens to be polyamorous. What this means is that yes, I am married, and my wife, she is bi, and yes, I look for other women. I look for other women to have relationships with. At current, we are both dating separately. We're not getting much luck, but you know, it's the slog of the community. Does this mean that I'm dating men, that I'm turning bi or gay? No, not at all. I enjoy women, so does my wife, and we got married with this understanding. Now, I know some of you are going to have an aneurysm listening to this. I do not care. Is it weird that I want to have more than one romantic relationship in my life? Not to me, it's not. I'm maintaining all of the stuff I'm supposed to, and for me, that's enough. I'm doing my stuff and keeping up everything, so why should I care what a whole lot of everybody else thinks? I'm not saying it's for everybody. I know for a lot of you, that's not the way it can be. That's not the way it is for you. But then again, I'm not going to church every Sunday, and I'm seeing more this drawback from society, where if everybody isn't conforming to a certain parameter, then you're not accepted, and I don't do that. I'm not going to go that far. Do I actively go looking for women? Yes, I do. Do I have sex with women? No. Polyamory and being polyamorous isn't about having sex. It's about having relationships. So the people who are out there actively going to get to have sex are called swingers. There's a difference. Like I said, because this affects me personally, and because for some reason women get to a certain age, especially the ones around here, in my neck of the woods, they hit a certain age and all of a sudden half of them, or three-quarters of them, become religious freaks. They went from worshiping the devil or Satanism or whatever else, totally, they're like, F God, F all this shit, to now it's praise God, all glory to God, because now your oldest is having grandchildren and you want to set a good example. You could have set that example for your kids 20 years ago, back when they were still kids. I know I haven't been the greatest parent, so I can slip that off through the river. I wasn't exactly the dad I wanted to be, but I did provide for my kids. So for all the kids are like, well, daddy wasn't around. Well, somebody had to work. And if it wasn't going to be mommy, it had to be daddy. Period. You weren't going to have somebody constantly patting you on the back. I mean, we do that when we get off work. That's what it's there for. But as far as polyamory goes, polyamory is about having more than one relationship going on, whether you're married or not. And I know not all of you agree with it. Some of you may be disgusted by it. I'm not forcing my beliefs upon you. I'm letting you know what I am, what I do. Does this mean I spend all my time checking women out? No, I don't. I devote maybe 2 hours a day to certain things, conversating with people, stuff like that. But that's sporadically 2 hours throughout the spread out over a day, which for me is like from 7 a.m. to midnight. So yeah, I spread it out over a long ass day. Now, having said that, I know I run into women all the time who, when I'm talking to them, I'm not sexualizing women. I'm literally having conversations with different women, and they're all cool. And then when they're like, "Well, if you weren't married, I'd date you," it's like, my first line is usually, "Well, I'm married, but I'm not sure I don't think my wife's gonna mind that much." And then usually the response I get is, "Oh, I'm not that strong woman. I couldn't do that." Okay, I get that. And for me, it's not. When I hear connotations like that, I get a lot of women start quoting the Blue Notebook. Well, I believe in one man for the rest of my life and nothing else. It's fine that you believe that, but you're also romanticizing something that didn't happen all that often back then. Like, there are so many incidences where women romanticize, or even men romanticize, about finding that ride or die chick. And with guys, I know from personal experience being in enough polyamorous groups, guys are not as honest as they say. Well, I want a ride or die chick, and then you find him in a room for polyamory, and he's dating 6 other women. He has a child by each of them, but oh, I gotta have this ride or die. No, he's trying to create a facade. I don't create a facade. Like when I start building a relationship with a woman, straight up on, I let them know up front that I'm not going to leave my wife or my child for you. If you want to be a part of our lives, that's one thing, but I'm not going to leave them to be with you, period. That's the end of this discussion. If you want to join the family, that's one thing, but I'm not going to I'm not going to remove myself from my family. I have responsibilities, fatherly and husbandly responsibilities, and I'm legally married. Now, does this mean that does this mean that I go to swingers parties? No, it doesn't. In fact, it's the other end of the spectrum. I'm more of the dad who stays at home. I'll have 1 or 2 beers for the entire evening, and I drink tall cans. But I stay at home and play with my kid. I taught my kid this last week how to play chess and Chinese checkers, and she was very happy with it. And I let her beat me because I was instructing her on how to play chess. And if I hadn't instructed her, I would have wiped the board with her like 5 times in less than 10 minutes. But my job is to teach her, okay? And that means I need to I take time out of my day to teach my daughter the difference between right and wrong. Now, my definition, morally, of right and wrong is probably different than yours. But I'm not judging you. I mean, I'm guessing there's at least a couple people who've been divorced who watch this. I don't know. But I'm not going to judge you for being divorced. I mean, do I think you got married too early? Probably. I didn't get married until I was in my 30s. And there's a reason behind that, because everybody else that I know that got married young is now on their 2nd or 3rd marriage. And I always told myself if I was going to get married, I was going to get married once. That's it. Now, if it doesn't work, we're just going to stay married and we'll date separately. But with my wife and me, we talked a lot when we first met, and before we got married or engaged, we were talking about how we wanted to live our lives. And we got married with the agreement that I was going to be non-monogamous and she was going to remain bisexual. and we neither one of us have a problem with that. I mean, if she's gone on dates with other women. I don't know who they are. Don't care. You know, I remember their faces, not their names, and she remembers their names and not their faces. But she's had a few dates, quite a few, in fact. I'm happy staying at home and just sitting watching TV and doing work. You know, doing my side projects and whatnot. So for me, it's not that big of an issue. For the rest of you, it might be. But this is, like I keep telling people who are like, well, your marriage is just wrong. No, my marriage is perfect for me and my wife. It's perfect for us. We operate very well on that. And no, we don't go out to bars because for us, bars are just some place to meet other women. We can bring them home and get to know them better, or play card games, or just listen to music. Do all that at home, and not have to worry about leaving at 2 a.m. smashed off your ass, puking on the carpet. But there are those of you who think that's wrong, and I get if you think that's wrong. I used to think like that for the longest time. When I realized I wasn't going to settle for monogamy, it took the longest time to get over the monogamous thought train. I mean, and I'm pointing this out not to as a reason for me being polyamorous. It's what led to it. It's what led to the revelation of being non-monogamous. I've had quite a few girlfriends. I was single for a really long time too, and the one thing I noticed is that every single girlfriend I'd ever had, every single one, had cheated on me. Every single one. I had one when I was 16 or 17, and we were supposed to go to my prom, and then she got sick, so I went out to Goddard or Cheney or wherever, and watched out for her and all this other crap. And then the next day, I caught her and one of the cooks at the restaurant I was working at in the bathroom. They came out, and she was full on blush, so I knew what they were doing in the bathroom. They were getting it on. And she later apologized for me catching them, and that she should have told me sooner. But her and the cook were now dating. It's like, so in fact you're cheating on me. I've never been a cheater in a relationship. And then I realized when I was with my ex Cherie, towards the end, it's like, I'm settling. I'm with some chick I don't really like all that much. So I need to get out of this. I'm tired of, she claimed to be bi, but only ever got it on with like one chick in the entire almost 6 years we were together. And I'm like, I'm done with this. I can't, I'm wanting things in life that I can't get because of where I am. And then I started going through the dating pool again, and I got to the point where I was letting several ladies know that I was flirting with at the time that, okay, here's the deal. I'm dating several of you, and I'm not going to settle on any of you. I would like to get to know all of you. Every single one of you. All like 6 or 7 women that I was dating at the time. And they were like, well, at least you're honest, so we'll go about this. Then 3 months down the road, one chick has left, and at the time, yes, I was sleeping with her. I didn't sleep with any other chicks because they just started falling off because they were like, well, I'm not getting what I want out of a relationship. And after talking with them, they wanted the romanticized World War II version of romance, where I come home to them and I'm loyal only to them. I don't even look at other women, and all these other romanticized ideals. I get how that's romantic to you, especially if you read romance novels. That ain't real life. I've met I don't know how many couples who we hear from me and my wife both hear from both sides, the women will either, number one, hit on me and offer to let me sleep with them, or two, they'll end up letting me know that, oh, my husband, he thinks I'm not doing anything. I'm having sex with like 4 guys on the side. And the guy, the husband, is saying, well, at least to me, he's like, well, my wife isn't doing anything with anybody. She doesn't realize I'm having sex with like 6 other women, and it's really just an unhappy marriage. Okay, and then when people ask us face to face, okay, are you guys dating together or separately? We're dating separately currently. Will we take the right person into a throuple with us? Yes. And a throuple is when a couple and a third person are all dating. In case you didn't know. The interesting part is when they ask us and we tell them, no, we're dating separately right now, but thank you. If we are encouraged by somebody long and hard enough, we may end up forming a throuple again, but at this time we're both dating separately. And they're like, then she'll get asked, like, well, do you get hit on women a lot? Yes, my wife gets hit on by lesbians and bisexual women and married women all the time. I have no problem with this. I tell her, go out and enjoy it. I don't care. I mean, I don't want you entertaining a threesome with them. If you're going to be entertaining women, I get that. Entertaining men, that's something we have to talk about because we ain't crossed that threshold yet. We're both actively pursuing women. And yes, I know I heard some I think I just heard some shuddering from some of you. Remember, this is my marriage to my wife, and it's our life. And my daughter's not being adversely affected by this. That's just the way it's going to work. We're adults. We're not out at like the scout meeting saying, "Oh yeah, she's got nice boobs. We gotta sleep with her." No, it's, "Hey, how you doing? Oh, how's your kid doing? Did he get that merit badge?" We're not advertising it like it's a banner for the LGBT community to come and party down. No. When we're around other poly couples, we have nice long discussions, and not just about. And most of the time, it's not even about sex. Fetishes, woodworking, automotive stuff. Most basic conversation is what we end up talking about with other poly couples. We've met up with swingers, and the last time I think we met a swinging couple, they offered to invite us to a party of theirs. This is years ago though, and we're like, yeah, no. We asked them who all was going to be there. They threw out some names, and I knew 2 of the names. And the 2 names that I knew were people I know who are nasty and do not take care of themselves hygienically. I'm not going to that party because that person comes on to me. I'm running out the door. I don't care if they're naked or not. Ice cold lemonade, in case you're wondering, because it's like over 100 degrees outside, and the AC isn't on. Okay. Now, for those of you who abhor non-monogamy, I'm sorry you had to sit through that. It doesn't matter to me if you like it or not. I'm letting you in. I'm giving you a little peek inside of my life. Now, this doesn't mean that I go chasing ass and go to get laid all the time. That's not what me admitting this, me opening up myself to you is about. It's about you knowing who I am, and now that my mom's the only person, the only elder person in my life that's within arm's reach of me that I have to worry about, why the hell can't I come out and say that I am polyamorous? I'm a straight polyamorous guy, and remember, if you think it's about sex, you're thinking of swinging, not polyamory. Polyamory is having a romantic relationship. That doesn't mean just wooing them until you get in between their thighs. This is okay, sharing more of myself with other women, and me and my wife both respect this boundary, and we don't let anything objectively interfere with our marriage. We're very open about that. We're like, yeah, no, you're not coming between us. You're not splitting us up. That's how our marriage is. I know a lot of people don't like it. I don't care. It's not your marriage. Now, if you're in a monogamous marriage and you think it's just boring, well, you can keep that opinion to your damn self. You're not going to diss me and my wife because you think it's wrong. If you think it's wrong, just don't comment. It's not hard. Now, there are those of you who are my subscribers. Hopefully, all the people listening to this are my subscribers. But for the subscribers, if you have a comment about that, please comment on it. But I'm going to get off here because I got better stuff to do, and I probably got a few more shorts to make. Peace.